Hey guys, welcome to another video tutorial. So in this video tutorial, we'll be going through quadratic inequalities. So essentially, I'm going to try and cover the whole thing in one video, and I'll give you guys some questions so you can try it out as well, and I will go through those as well. So let's get straight to it. Oh, and also if this video has helped you guys out and has given you value, please put a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. That would be really appreciated. And yeah, let's get straight to it. So the first question, well, the first two questions, if you look at the first two questions, you can see there's a bit of a difference here, right? So you first need to know your inequality signs. This sign here that you see means greater than, right? So that's greater than 0. And then the other one is smaller than 0. So the method stays the same for both of them. The only thing that changes is essentially the answer, or how you write the answer. So if we look at the first one with inequality x squared minus 12x plus 32 is greater than 0, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to forget about the inequality sign. I'm just going to write x squared minus 12x plus 32 is equals to 0. Don't worry about this sign. We'll come back to that later. And I'm going to factorize this. So the factorize this, I want two numbers that I multiply gives me 32, which is the end number here. And two numbers when I add gives me minus 12. So those two numbers are just going to be what? Minus 8 and minus 4. Minus 8 and minus 4, because both of that gives me minus 12. And if I times this, it gives me positive 32. All I need to do now is bring the bracket like this, equals to 0. Bring your x's here. Now you see those two numbers that you found, minus 8 and minus 4. Bring them here. Add it here, minus 8, minus 4. Doesn't matter which order. So now you've got two solutions. You can say x minus 8 is equals to 0. So that means x is equals to, move the minus 8 to the other side, it becomes positive 8. Answer 1. And then x minus 4 equals 0. I'm sure you guys have guessed it. X is equals to 4. Now with these inequalities, in the exam, they want you to draw the graph. So you need to show the graph of how you're going to, or how this will look like, how this will look like in a graph. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to do this graph, and I'm just going to plot this graph. So essentially 8 and 4, so 4 is going to be somewhere here, and then 8 is going to be somewhere here. Now a quadratic graph is a U shape, so it's a smiley face because this is a positive one. So you know your graph is going to be something like this, that just goes through the 2 points. It's a sketch, so you don't have to worry about it being so accurate. Now this is where this greater than 0 inequality sign comes in. You know 0 is going to be here, right? Now greater than 0 essentially means we're going to look everything above 0. So I'm going to look at this line because it's obviously above 0, and this line because this is also above 0, right? Now the way we do this then is, if I look at this line, as this line goes this way, keeps going this way, your x value goes this way. So what happens to your x value? It increases, right? So as this line keeps going this way, your x value increases. So we say x is greater than 8. And if we look at this line, as this green line keeps going this way, your x value goes this way, which is decreasing. So then we say x is smaller than 4. And that is your answer for this question. So remember, when it says greater than 0, just look at the line. As this line goes this way, the x value increases, and as this line goes this way, the x value decreases. That's it. Now if we look at the second one, this sign is smaller than 0, so we're going to do the same thing as we did. So we're just going to say x squared plus x minus 20 is equals to 0. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get two numbers that I multiply gives me minus 20. Careful, don't forget the minus. And two numbers when I add gives me x, which is essentially 1. So those two numbers that I multiply is going to be what? 5 and 4. 5 and 4, but obviously I need 1, so I'm going to make that minus 4, which means this also has to be minus. 5 times minus 4 gives me minus 20. 5 plus minus 4 gives me 1. So again, what we do, we get our two brackets, put it like this, equate to 0, add x on both sides. You see those two numbers that we found? Again, bring them here, so plus 5 and minus 4. So that means x plus 5 is equals to 0. So again, exact same thing as we did on the previous one, right? So x is equals to, move 5 to the other side, minus 5. X minus 4 is equals to 0. So that means x is equals to, move minus 4 to the other side, 4. So again, what we need to do now, once we've got that, is draw our graph. So we're going to get our graph like this. And then minus 5 is going to be somewhere on the left hand side this time. So that's going to be somewhere here. And then 4 is going to be somewhere here. And again, quadratic graph, so it's a U shape. So you draw something like this. Now, this is where it changes. So if you look at the inequality sign that we have here, it's saying smaller than 0. Now we know smaller than 0 is here, but smaller basically means we're going to shed everything below 0, like this, right? So the way this works is, I'll show you the shortcut and I'm going to explain to you, but really the shortcut is enough. You don't really need the explanation. But essentially what you're going to do to get your answer, you're going to say x, then you're going to put your inequality sign like this. So from left to right, left to right. The left number, which is -5, comes on the left side, and the right number on here goes on the right side. Essentially, that is your answer. Okay, that's how you do it. So the left number -5 goes here, and the right number 4 goes here. Now, if you want the explanation, essentially, you got to look at it this way. If I take this point here, -5, and I just keep going this way, right, as this line goes this way, what is happening to your x value? Your x value keeps increasing, right, because it's going this way. So that's why we say x is greater than -5. And then if we look at the point 4, we follow the orange line. So this is going now to the left. So as this line goes to the left, what's happening to your x value? It decreases. So we say x is smaller than 4. So that's the explanation behind it. So you can see for greater than, your answer is going to be in 2 separate lines. And then for smaller than, it's going to be all in 1 line. That is it. The method stays the same. Nothing changes. The only thing that you're going to see that's going to change is going to be the numbers. So take a minute just to kind of write this down and see what I've done. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the questions to try out as well. And then we'll go through that as well. Okay, so have a go at these 2 questions, try it out, look at the example, follow the example, and then have a go at this. And then once you're done, come back and check this video on how I'm going to go through this. So let's get straight to this. So basically, the first thing you should have done straight away is you should have wrote x squared minus 2x minus 24 equals 0. You're going to come back to this inequality sign after, and then we're going to get 2 numbers that multiply gives me minus 24, and 2 numbers that add gives me minus 2. So x, it being put here and here. So that should have been what? Minus 6 and plus 4, right? You should have got those 2 numbers. Then what we do is x minus 6 equals 0. So that means x is equals to 6. X plus 4 is equals to 0. So x is equals to minus 4. So you should have got those 2 answers. Now remember, we're going to draw the graph. So we're going to put this here, and then we're going to have minus 4 and 6. So minus 4 is going to be somewhere here, and then 6 is going to be somewhere here. This is a quadratic graph, so you're going to draw a U shape that goes through those 2 points. Now, looking at this inequality sign, this is saying greater than 0. So I know greater than 0 means I'm going to go everything above 0. So the line is going to go this way, and then the line is going to go that way, right? So if we look at this point 6, as this green line goes this way, what's happening to x value? It's increasing. So we say x is greater than 6. And if we look at the point minus 4, as this line goes this way, your x value decreases. So we say x is smaller than minus 4. So this is the answer that you guys should have got if you've done this correctly. Now, if we go to the next one, what we're going to do again, we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to say x squared plus 2x minus 35 is equals to 0. So we're going to factorize that. 2 numbers I multiply gives me minus 35, and 2 numbers when I add gives me 2. So that's going to be plus 7 and minus 5. So that means you can say straight away x is equals to minus 7 and x is equals to 5 as your 2 solutions. Again, we're going to draw the graph. You can pretty much see, right? It's quite repetitive. There's nothing that changes. It's really just the numbers that changes as you're doing this more and more. You're going to see the pattern. Minus 7 is here, and then we have 5 here. So again, quadratic graph, smiley face that goes through these 2 points. Now, because this is smaller than 0, if you remember, we're going to shade everything below, which means our answer is going to be x, and then we're going to have from left to right the sign. Left number minus 7 is going to be on the left side, right number is going to be on the right side. And this is the answer that you guys should have got. So if you haven't got it, check where you guys went wrong. If you're still not sure, just put it down in the comments and I can help you guys out. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the next section of quadratic inequalities, which is a bit more advanced, but still doable. And we'll go through this right now. Okay, so the next one that we have now is 2x squared plus 7x minus 4. So now what you probably realize is we now have a number in front of x squared. So this is basically just using the long factorizing method to solve this. Everything else, again, stays the same. So what we're going to do straight away, we're going to say 2x squared plus 7x minus 4 equals 0. Same thing. But now what I'm going to do when I factorize this is I want 2 numbers that multiply. I'm going to do 2 times minus 4, which is minus 8. And I want 2 numbers when I add gives me 7. Right, so this is the method. You do 2 times minus 4 minus 8 and the number in front of x, which is 7. So those 2 numbers, we know it's going to be 8 and 1, 8 and 1. But obviously because I need 7, I need to put minus here, which means I need to also put minus here. So all I need to do now is I'm going to say 2x squared. See those 2 numbers that you found, 8 and minus 1, we're going to bring them here. Plus 8, but we're going to add an x. Minus 1, but we're going to add an x. 8x minus x gives you 7x. Can you see that here? It's being partitioned. And obviously, don't forget to carry the minus 4 down, equals 0. So now what we're going to do, we're going to look at this. What is the common multiple, or the lowest common multiple that I can take from 2x squared plus 8x? 2x is in common, so I can take that out. Something times 2x gives me 2x squared, that's just x, plus something times 2x gives me 8x, that is 4, right? Now what I can do here is I can take minus 1 out, which means I will also be left here with x plus 4 equals 0. So all I need to do now is just bring these two in a bracket, 2x minus 1, and then make sure I bring x plus 4 as well equals 0. I don't need to write x plus 4 again because I already have it there. So we're going to do the same thing. Now we're going to have 2x minus 1 equals 0. We're going to solve for x. So move the minus 1 to the other side, which is 1, and then divide it by 2. So that's x equals 1 over 2. X plus 4 equals 0. So you know x is going to be minus 4. So we've got two solutions. And again, if you remember, we're going to draw our graph again. And then this time we have half and minus 4. So minus 4 is going to be somewhere here. And then we've got half, which is going to be somewhere here. Quadratic graph, which means again it's a smiley face because it's positive. It's going to go through those 2 points. Now, because it's saying greater than 0, if you remember, we're going to look at everything above 0. So it's just going to be basically this line, and it's going to be this line. So as this line goes this way, what is happening to x value? It's increasing. So we say x is greater than half. And then as this line goes this way, what's happening to your x value? Your x value is decreasing. So we say x is smaller than minus 4. And that is your answer for this one. So that's literally the other side of the inequality when you have a number in front of x squared, and this is how you solve it. So what I'll do is I'll give you another question for you guys to try out, have a go, see how you do, and then we'll go through that. Okay, so here's the question, have a go at it, and once you're done, we'll play the video back again and I'll show you how to go through this. Right, so if we go through this equation, so we're going to do the same thing. We're going to say 3x squared minus 5x minus 12 equals 0. And if you remember, we're going to have two numbers that multiply gives me minus 36 because I'm going to do 3 times minus 12. And two numbers when I add gives me minus 5. So those two numbers are going to be 9 and 4, 9 and 4. But because I need minus 5, I'm going to put minus in front of the 9, which means I also have to put minus in front of this 9. Once I've done that, I'm going to put 3x squared. The two numbers that I found, bring them here, but make sure you add x. So that's going to be minus 9x plus 4x minus 12 equals 0. So if I look at this, I know what's in common. That's going to be 3x. So I can take 3x out. So I should have x minus 3. Now 4x minus 12, I can take 4 out. So I'll have x minus 3 here as well equals 0. So now all I need to do is bring this in a bracket, 3x plus 4. And then the other one is x minus 3 equals 0. So because we want to solve for x, we're going to say 3x plus 4 equals 0. So your x should be minus 4 over 3. And this one, x should be 3. Once you've got those two solutions, make sure you draw the graph, or make sure you have drawn the graph. And we're going to put the numbers or the points. So minus 4 over 3 is going to be somewhere here. And the other one is going to be 3, which is going to be somewhere here. Again, quadratic graph, smiley face, like this. Now, because it says greater than 0, I'm going to look at the lines that's just going to be above 0, like this. And essentially, as this line goes this way, your x value increases. So you're going to say x is greater than 3. And if we look at the point 4 over 3, as this line goes this way, the value decreases. So we can say x is smaller than minus 4 over 3. So this is the answer that you guys should have got. If you got it, well done. You've understood it. If not, look back at your work. Maybe you've made it, most likely you've made a silly mistake. So hope that helps you guys out. And, if it does, please give a like on this video and, subscribe to this channel. And comment down on any other topics that you guys would like to see. I'm planning to do a lot more videos and trying to make them quite detailed so that you guys can have a great understanding of how it all works out. So hopefully, that should give you guys value as well. So I'll see you guys on the next video.